and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you, and we got a lot to cover here today. Some conspiracies, some head scratchers, some anger, some pain, some heartache, and some disappointment. We run the gamut of emotions in this week's toy news. But of course, we always start the toy news off with a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, Patreon. We're in the month of November. We got the month of November giveaway on the Patreon. It will be the McFarlane Store exclusive Red Santa Batman. So Patreon members, check out the link in the description below. A lot of content to come on the Patreon. As you guys know, every single day, new videos over there. You get both YouTube channels. Yes, I got 2 YouTube channels. A lot of people still, hey, what's this other channel? We got 2 channels, so make sure you subscribe to both of those, but you do get early access to both channels' videos on Patreon every single day, and this will be the giveaway for this month there. So shout out to the old Patreon members in this video. So there you go. Now we got another little housekeeping here, and if you're watching this on Saturday when the toy news of the week drops, tonight, 9 p.m. Central, 10 East, you figure out the math from there. I will be on the Dave Wheeler stream tonight at 9 o'clock. He is doing a live stream for charity. I will be there around the 9 o'clock hour, 9 to 10. Who knows? We'll see how the time goes. But I will be there tonight, Saturday night. If you're watching this the day it drops, tonight on the Dave Wonder YouTube channel. He's doing a 24-hour live stream marathon. So check that out. You don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss me. Join in. Chat it up. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about in that stream. So check that one out. Tonight, it's for charity, all that kind of fun stuff. So check it out. Dave Wonder, his live stream tonight, 9 p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be there. We'll be ready to go. But now let's get into it. Let's get into the toy news this week. And the first thing we got to talk about, dare I say, a conspiracy.
You ever wonder if they're watching your every move? Cell phones, internet, surveillance. Think about it.
Maybe not so much a conspiracy, but I would definitely say the savings event of a generation. Possibly a lifetime, but a generation, lifetime. Choose your poison, pick your poison right there. But Super 7 Ultimate Sale at Big Bad Toy Store. Of course, Big Bad Toy Store, link in the description down below. Hit up the old link. Still a lot of deals over there right now currently. But Big Bad Toy Store basically giving away the house on the Super 7 Ultimate Editions. Absolutely insanity sales. I hate even looking at it. It makes my stomach sick because I think of all the money I spent at full price on these Super 7 figures, where now they're at like $19 a piece. Man, what are we doing? How do I get refunded on that? I don't know what's going on. But man, oh man, if you're a long gamer, this is the ultimate long game play of all time. No doubt about it. You can get waves of G.I. Joe, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Silverhawks, Thundercats, you name it. Deals for days, deals for a lifetime, deals for a generation. No doubt about it. But then that does lead to the next question here. What the heck is going on? Why are the discounts so deep here? We've explained this on the toy news in the past. It's been a while, so we're going to dust off the old business hat. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Obviously, I have no insider info or anything, but I'm using my best guess what the heck is going on right here. There's 2 things that are going on. Now, we have heard recently from Brian Flynn at Super 7 that the days of the long game, and I'm a patented long gamer, I tell you guys about it all the time on the channel here. I go to the Entertainment Earths of the world, I wait for the hot off the truck Super 7 Ultimates, I save 10% right off the bat. That 10% adds up all the time, free shipping. Shout out to discount code Kyle, I guess, over there at Entertainment Earth. But I use it myself. I get 10% off these when I use that code. So you got to get a deal out there. If you're buying a lot of action figures, you got to save a penny here, a penny there. It all adds up in the end. Brian Flynn of Super 7, though, said, hey, things are changing right now, and we're seeing that right now with the Ghost Jaga figure being like $300 and some on eBay. The stock is the stock. We're going back to the pre-COVID days. COVID, we know, action figures, toys, collectibles in general, they all exploded. They went crazy. A lot of people jumping in. Well, as fast as people jump in, they jump out. That's why we're seeing deals for days all over the place in tons of different toy lines. But we're also seeing stock patterns shrink back down. Now, COVID, of course, oh my gosh, people are buying. They're going to buy forever. That's what all these retailers hope. And not just toy retailers, retailers across the gamut of everything, clothing, you name it. Let's order more quantity, more quantity, more quantity. Well, now, all this quantity, fan base dying down, you got too much quantity. That's what's going on. And I think that's a perfect example of what's happened to Super 7 right here. Brian Flynn has said it himself in interviews. I think he was on the Foosh this week talking about it a little bit, that, hey, for now on, going forward, there's not going to be a lot of extra stock. So if you miss it, you miss it. You have to go to eBay, things like that to get stuff. Not good for long gamers like me. And people that were hoping they could get the reptilian guards, those 3 reptilian guards, the glow-in-the-dark Chitara that's coming out, the Ghost Jaga is the perfect example. People said, I'll get it later, I don't want them sitting on my money. That's usually me. However, they said it's a Superstore exclusive, Super 7 store exclusive. Jump on it while you can. I'm glad I did, because that Jaga is a pretty penny right now, and it sounds like what's out there is out there. That is it. So, going to be an expensive day if you're a completist for that line. But going forward, it sounds like Super 7 Ultimate's going to be made to produce with very little leftovers unless the Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Stores order a ton more. Well, we're seeing, back to the example here, Big Bad Toy Store, my guess is they ordered a lot, and obviously customers not buying at the $55 price point or more in some of the items, saying, hey, we're cutting our losses. Now, did they work with Super 7 to say, hey, Super 7, we're going to stop buying from you. We need some help here to get some of this inventory out of there. Maybe Super 7 gave them a rebate. Maybe they didn't at all. Maybe Big Bad Toy Store is just eating it down, shrinking their margins down to blow out this stuff. But either way, it's not a good look. It feels great at the time. Man, I got these deals. But long-term, Big Bad Toy Store, if I'm Big Bad Toy Store looking at this from the outside, hey, I am backing off my Super 7 orders. I don't need this much product going forward. I'm going to back it way back. Obviously, that is not good for Super 7. That is going to hurt their business. Same thing with Entertainment Earth. Are they going to back up and say, wait, I don't need as much product going forward? It is a really dicey thing. It feels great getting a deal right now, but we might be paying for some rough deals in the future. We're just going to have to see where that all nets out, what happens with that. But I don't think it's a good look. Now, the other thing that could have happened is Super 7 themselves. They might have had a ton of extra inventory. And I kind of talked about this last year. Not kind of, I did. Once again, I don't know anything, but Ringside Collectibles had some crazy deals on some Mattel Elites, things like that. I had a hunch or a feeling that maybe Mattel said, hey, we have all this extra product, Ringside, we're going to cut you a deal. You take all of this, we'll give it to you for X price. Obviously, they took it, sold it, made some deals there. I don't know if this is the case here. I don't know if that was the case there, but I've seen that with other retailers over the years on all kinds of different stuff. Did Super 7 say, hey, we have all this extra product, Big Bad Toy Store, you're a great supporter of us and our brands. We're going to sell you all this stuff for $10 a unit just to get rid of it. Do what you want. They sell it for $19.95, $20, whatever they make their money on it. Maybe that's what's going on there. Super 7 used Big Bad Toy Store to kind of outlet, get rid of a lot of stuff. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it is not good because guess what? That devalues the brand. That makes people say, and I don't think they're going to be right, but that makes people say, hey, I just got this whole wave of turtles for $100. They were normally $250. Why would I pay $250 going forward? I'll only pay $100. So you got a lot of people jumping out. It's just a bad business sign. Obviously, it is a deal. You can smoke and mirrors it with a, hey, it's a blowout sale. It's a holiday sale, a Black Friday sale. You can smoke and mirrors that a little bit. But we're going to see what the long-term repercussions of this one is. Should be very interesting. But man, a sale for a generation. Once again, that's what I did say. But I do worry about the future, and playing the long game could be a dangerous game at Super 7. We're just going to have to see what happens there. But man, deals for days. Once again, check out Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description down below. Crazy, crazy times. So then we turn our attention next to another thing, and as Rob Halford always says,
from Rob Halford of Judas Priest,
step on the red, cross on the green, never take a ride in a stranger's machine, and always make sure you're burning on turbo power.
And the key point that Rob Halford said right there that always rings true never take a ride in a stranger's machine. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. Kidnappers, they're everywhere. They're on every corner. You were batting them off as you were walking to school back in the day on the old playground. Things like that. I'm sure we've all tried to people have tried to kidnap us at one time or another. It was a big thing in the 80s. People wanted kids. I don't know what for. It seems like a lot of work to me, but there was kidnappers and there still is. But one thing we got to talk about right here is Rush Collectibles. Rush Collectibles, man, that's a buzzword if there ever was one in the retro style wrestling figure game, and not buzz in a good way. Now, I unboxed mine on the channel. I did get some pushback, some heat about my unboxings, but I am not going to make something up. What I do on my channel, what I unbox, is what I see in front of me. That's the way it goes. And I didn't have issues with the first batch of my figures. Unfortunately, my Larry Zbyszko Chase crumbled to dust right in front of my hands. Check out those reviews if you did miss that one there. So it's obviously disappointing. I don't care what we're talking about. I got some heat about Zombie Sailor. We had staining on the Bruiser Brody figure last week when we unboxed that. There's issues all over the place. Nobody is perfect. We totally get that. But Rush Collectibles has really struggled. I mean, I don't think we've seen an implosion like this in a long time. Ever since they busted down these tower apartments at my old college back in the day. I think it was the last time I saw an implosion that big. But it's absolutely wild that Rush Collectibles, not shipping product out, not fulfilling pre-orders. There was rumors going around that he never paid Larry Zbyszko. Just bad looks across the board there. And as you guys seen, I haven't really talked about Rush Collectibles. I haven't really been promoting this stuff because I don't even know if it's going to come to fruition. And my hunch, once again, was right. And if you go back almost a year ago in these very videos, Toy News, I said there is too many retro companies. There's no way this is sustainable. Well, about 2-3 months after that, what was it called? Like CWF Retro, something like that out of Germany. They folded shop. That was it. They were done. Cella Toys, they went out. They were done. They moved over to Epic Toys, who bought kind of their assets and things like that. So they were done. And then, of course, now Rush Collectibles seemingly throwing in the towel in the wrestling game. And that's what I said a year ago. I said 2 to 3 of these companies will fall by the wayside before things are all done. And here we are, not even a year out, and we got 3 that have fallen here. Now, Rush Collectibles said they're going to stick in the monster game. I don't know. I mean, it's a whole different animal there. I do think that Monster Frankenstein was pretty cool, but I'm just very leery. I want to see what the quality's like. Fool me once, you know what they say, the old saying there. So he is moving on to that. I am pretty bummed that the retro kind of Ringmasters, the Extreme Ringmasters, those ECW OSFTM style figures are not coming to fruition. I had really high hopes for those. I thought that was a very, very cool idea. I would have loved to have seen that. Unfortunately, all that stuff is done, and there's no going back. And I think Rush kind of, dug their own grave in a lot of ways. Social media commentary, chirping back, things like that. Bedside manner is a big thing. You got to be nice to your consumers out there. You have to be. Even if you don't want to be sometimes. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it is in any kind of business. But a tough time for Rush, but it's self-inflicted is what it is. So Rush will pour one out for you, I guess, and I don't know where it'll go from there. I guess we'll see what happens, see where that goes, see where it ebbs and flows in the future. So we do have that going on. Now we got to turn our attention to a little bit of a conspiracy.
You ever wonder if they're watching your every move? Cell phones, internet, surveillance. Think about it.
All right, well, I don't know about conspiracy. Once again, I might be a little broad there, but it is an interesting turn of events here this week, and our good friends Ringside Collectibles, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10%, but Ringside this week put up the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, Major Bendy's Big Rubber Guys Demolition on their website. I think they went up on Wednesday, Thursday this week. Could be off a day there. Very good. Now, this is a double-edged sword if I've ever seen one in my life. If I've ever seen one, this is one. But they went up on a Ringside. That is great for their business. That's another retailer selling them. Another avenue to get money. Obviously, it's about money at the end of the day. Another avenue to go to market. Obviously, Ringside, when you think wrestling figures, you go to Ringside. I can see a lot of people looking for Major Bendy's. People hitting up Ringside saying, hey, are you going to sell these here? Well, here we are selling Big Rubber Guys Demolition. We'll see what that means in the future with some of the other Big Rubber Guys and maybe the Major Bendy's. So it's great for their business. I totally get that. But I also look at it from my instinct and my side of the fence, and probably a lot of your guys. I look at the whole picture here. Now, when did those go up on pre-order? Was it June, July, August? what is time, as we always do say. And I am not a big fan of pre-orders. Now, Major Bendy's, Big Rubber guys, shout out to that team because they turn product fairly quick. You know, the Super 7s and a lot of these other companies, you know, it could be 12 to 16 months. They sit on your dollar, our hard-earned money that we work hard for. They're making their money on our money. I never like that. I get a couple of weeks order, whatever it could be, but long order time frames, not a big fan of that. So then the Major Bendy's, the Big Rubber guys, we ordered Demolition months ago. Now we could have just went straight to Ringside, ordered them, shipped them out immediately. We wouldn't have had to have them sitting on our money. So we always talk about that, the yin and yang of that. I'm just not a big fan. That's me personally. Some people don't mind people sitting on their money. It is what it is. It depends what you like. But what really grinds my gears here is I'm waiting for my Big Rubber guys, and I'm like, okay, am I going to get one chase, one not chase? Am I going to get two chases, two regulars? I don't know where I'm going with this one. And I want to be a completist of this line. I have to get a regular axe and smash. I have to get a chase axe and smash. So then I go to Ringside Collectibles. I see on Ringside they're selling the chases individually. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Well, I guess that is good. If for some reason I get the two regular ones, I can order both chases. Or if I get one and one, I can order the opposite ones on Ringside. Hey, that's great for me. I can do that. Well, then here I am Friday morning. I still haven't got my Big Rubber guys in the mail yet. I'm sure they're shipping. I should have them soon. But now one of the chases has sold off from Ringside. So now I don't have a chance at a chase. So I had a chance at a chase, but because I pre-ordered long ago, I missed out on my opportunity for a chase. Now I'm going to have to go to the secondary market, pay $100. Who knows what it could be. So just really ships in the night here a little bit. I just don't like the way that all pieced out for me personally. Maybe it's just me and my whininess. Who knows? I'm just whining about it. But I got to think others have that same issue too. And none of us should like people sitting on our money. I get it's a necessary evil. And like I said, the Big Rubber guys, as far as the ones that set on our money, they're way down the list. I mean, they turn and burn stuff faster than Hasbro has and Mattel, things like that in the past. So not a lot of fault there, but they're still taking pre-orders. And the way this whole Ringside Collectibles thing went down, I really wish it would have went up on Ringside maybe 2 or 3 weeks after all the original orders were fulfilled from the major Big Rubber guys. The major Big Rubber guys, there you go. So I've said my piece there, but man, now I got to try to chase down the chases or the regulars. I'm not sure yet. Once I get those, I guess I'll know my clear plan from there. So an interesting one right there. Now we turn our attention to another interesting one. This one kind of blew my mind a little bit. FTC, we talked about FTC Figures Toy Company last week in the toy news. They are moving to elite style bodies. That was the discussion point last week. This week they have a new item for sale, and man, I don't know. This really reminds me of the time Kiss. I think they still do. The band Kiss, one of the biggest groups of all time, obviously. Kiss selling a bag of air guitar strings. Have you ever seen that? Kind of a joke, but it is a real thing. I've actually seen them for sale before. It kind of feels the same way with FTC. Basically selling a marker and sticky notes that you can have people hold in your crowd. I mean, that's an interesting one. Hey, if more power to them, that's got to be cheap to produce, things like that. I think it's a removable marker. You can erase it, things like that. But boy, that is something a little special there. That's an interesting idea. Got to make money. Hey, if people are going to buy it, there's got to be a good margin in that one. But I thought that gave me a pretty good chuckle this week, and it just reminded me of Kiss and their air guitar strings. So more power to FTC, but you can see who is holding these signs. Like I talked about last week, I said they didn't say anything or show anything. I truly do believe this is what our wrestling figures from FTC are going to look like. It's going to be this style of figure of these kind of ones. I wasn't a huge fan of the referee body, and it looks like they're continuing that on with other figures. So we'll see how that works for them. We'll see once they finally announce what their first figures are in the new style body. But I wanted to shout that out a little bit here. Thought that was funny and interesting at the same time. One thing I get asked about every single day, and guys, I don't work for Ringside Collectibles. Maybe, hey, John over there, if you want to hire me, I'll take a job. I'll come work for Ringside, sure. But I don't work for Ringside, but I do have a discount code. Use code Kyle, as you guys know. But one question I literally get every single day, because I don't think anybody champions this item more than I have. I don't know who possibly could, but the Ringside Mattel stands, if you're at Ringside Collectibles, they are up for pre-order. They are coming back in stock in December. We'll see what happens with that. But man, I always say it, buy up around the holidays. They usually have sales, things like that. Load up on your stands. Take count. Okay, how many stands could I possibly need for this year? load up, buy as many as you do need. That's what I do every single year. I load up around the holidays, and it looks like December, the stands are coming back. I'm here for that. Everybody needs a stand, but we're not done with Ringside Collectibles. The Matt Cardona and Nick Gage 2-pack Ringside Collectible exclusive. 2 versions up there for pre-order right now. Of course, Kyle saves 10% on those as well. So if you need those to go with your major players, your Mark Sterling, your referee figures, things like that they've released over the years, we got a little extra pack to go with that. So check that one out if that is your thing. Kind of the Remco style figures is what those are. But we're not done with Cardona and Nick Gage 2-packs. Zombie Sailor right now up for pre-order. Apparently limited edition of 2000, the 2-pack from them. Nice bloody figures, very highly detailed figures as we do know with these ones. Should be very interesting. But Zombie Sailor, if you want it, go to his website, get these pre-ordered. Who knows, they could be sold out by now. Probably not, but it's one of those limited edition ones. You're going to want to jump in on that one if you want. Around $100 some for that 2-pack. Obviously, it's pricey, but it's not Mattel, it's not Hasbro. We know how that goes right there. But check out old Zombie Sailor. And then Zombie Sailor plugging Andre the Giant. We got Andre coming for Black Friday in the black strap. He does put over the removable head. You can take the blue head off, put it on the black, vice versa. Is what it is. I guess you have to have both of them to be able to do that. I've seen a lot of people ask questions. Wait, is Andre coming with 2 heads? No, you have to have the blue strap and the black strap to mix and match the heads there. So choose your own Andre head adventure, but Black Friday coming up for pre-order. Be ready for that one right there. We do know the month of November, KWK and their retro line, Yoshitatsu is the name of the game for November. A lot of different variants available. We talked about it last week. You got this month to pre-order that one, so check that out. One thing I missed last week, talking about Hassel Toys and the Grappler and Gimmicks line, he's got the Wild Man. He's got Mark Marrow coming to the line. I think that was told a while back, but then it's officially, we saw some kind of renders for that one here. So the Wild Man coming. One of those guys very underserviced in the action figures over the years. I'm here for a Wild Man Mark Marrow. And I will have some Heels and Faces and Grapplers and Gimmicks retro figures to unbox on the channel this upcoming week. So stay tuned to the weekly purchases tomorrow to find out more on those. Foco, who never met a bobblehead they didn't like. Foco's got a new Hulk Hogan bobblehead. I've been buying these Ultimate Warrior bobbleheads from them, but man, they're pricey. They're limited edition. It's a wild thing over there at Foco. I'm not sure how that all operates, but man, they got a new bobblehead literally almost every single week. They're the Todd McFarlane of the bobblehead industry is what they are over there, but we do have those coming on. And then I don't know if somebody caught this week. The Warlord was on, was it like WSI? It's like a podcast. They do Dutch Mantel, things like that. Shout out to Dutch Mantel. I always liked Dutch Mantel. I always loved the stories from the Lawler days, the Memphis days, things like that. I always love to hear about those stories from back in the day and him cracking the old whip and things like that. Always a good time. But Warlord coming to Power Town. That was announced on November 8th, which was my dad's birthday. Once again, shout out to my dad and his birthday. I made a post saying, hey, it's my dad's birthday today. I think he got more well wishes for his birthday than I did. What are we doing, people? What are we doing? It's not his channel. He's a guest. But Dad, the verdict's out there. I think it's time for you to start your own channel. I think that's the answer right here. More on that sooner rather than later, hopefully. But the Warlord coming to Power Town, it looks like. He talked about it on that review, or that interview, I should say. I'm here for it. More Warlord figures. You know my dad will be in on some Warlord figures as well. So thought that was pretty cool. But whoa. Stop the clock. Hot off the press. It looks like Ringside Fest is coming back, and it's coming up quick right here. Got all the details via Ringside Collectibles. Of course, discount code Kyle saves 10%. Tuesday, 11/14, 3 p.m. Eastern. New Mattel WWE figure reveals with special guest Rhea Ripley, Dominic Mysterio, and Mick Foley. Have to imagine we'll see some stuff of those 3 individuals as far as the reveals go. And then Wednesday, 11:15 at 3 Eastern, even more reveals and a Mattel WWE fan Q&A with Steve Ozier and Bill McKenna. Watch it on YouTube at Ringside C, of course, Ringside Fest 2023. Coming in hot, 11/14, 11/15. Should have some news from that. We'll see how it goes. I might do a separate video that night. I'm actually traveling that day. We'll see what happens. There's always time. You always got to just search for it. But we might do a video on that. If not, we will talk about it in the toy news next week. A lot of wrestling news this week. The highs, the lows, the ups, the downs of the wrestling toy industry this week. We kind of covered it all right there. We also saw the LWO. I almost forgot to mention that. That did go up for pre-order this week on Mattel Creations. Last bit of wrestling news. $100 for that pack. A steal of a deal, if you ask me. I am here for that. I think it said like summer 2024 delivery, though. That just seems crazy. Something tells me by then, the LWO will be long broken up by then. There'll be a feud. It'll be Santos versus Rey Mysterio. Who knows what'll go down? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if you're after that, Mattel Creations is the place to go. Head on over there if you need to. Now, a few other miscellaneous news this week. And we talked about it last week because it was hot off the press, hot off the interwebs, we'll call it. But Lalandra from the X-Men, of course, the X-Men animated series, she was in the comics, all that kind of stuff. We did see her figure fully revealed this week, looking really good. Sounds like it'll probably be in an X-Men wave in 2024. So a little Marvel Legends news, but pretty quiet on the Marvel Legends front this week. Pretty quiet from the major companies this week for the most part. McFarlane Toys, you know McFarlane, he does not stop. He does not stop ever. Batman Lantern, Superman with Crypto Dog. I didn't see the picture of Crypto Dog, but apparently he's coming. And this Captain Carrot that just stole my heart and will never let go like a young Rio. 3 must-have figures. Batman Green Lantern probably being my least favorite of the bunch here, but man, Superman, if he comes with Crypto, and I like the looks of the Superman, at least from the one picture, and Captain Carrot, a rabbit superhero, all in, all day long on those 3. Those are coming up for pre-order on November 15th, so be ready for those. Then this week, we did see the Batman and Robin Mr. Freeze Build-A-Figure wave finally went up for pre-order. Target seemed to be the cheapest place to get that, especially if you have the old red card. I did order that whole set for about a little less than $100 ship, so got to get a deal out there, as we do know. But that is coming. I'm here for an Arnold Mr. Freeze. I'm excited for that wave. Not my favorite movie ever, but I do love me some Arnold, and Arnold as Mr. Freeze will look good on my shelf, so I got that coming there. Whoa, 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 stop the clock. Hot off the press, right as I got done with the video here, I did get a blast from NECA for their Black Friday pre-order, not in hand, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 2, The Secret of the Ooze, Professor Perry 2-pack. Now, we saw that at San Diego Comic-Con. We saw that at PowerCon. We knew it was coming. Looks like Black Friday is your time to shine for you Turtle fans. Pick that one up at the NECA store, like I said, on Black Friday. And then the final little piece of news this week, it looks like Turtles and He-Man, of course, the crossover event of a lifetime, as we do know. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Well, more pretty production pictures, more images this week here. And I wanted to go through these a little bit. Now, it's a mashup. It's not necessarily a crossover like we've seen in the past with like the Masters WWE Universe, where is Becky Lynch / Tila. We don't really have a lot of that going on here. It's kind of like a new universe and a new world there. So very interesting the way they're going to market with this one. But we did get some more pictures, some more fancy pictures, and one that I thought was just genius. I love these tie-ins, how they do this. But you got Slash from the Turtles universe kind of mixed in as Faker. I thought that was really clever, really cool, because obviously he's kind of a turtle, kind of. It fits with the Faker there, so I like that. Of course, Donatello Man-at-Arms, we knew about that one in the past. Leonardo, I guess kind of a Leonardo He-Man is kind of what I think of with that one. And then we got Raphael. Raphael kind of looks like Ram Man. He's got some Ram Man armor on there. Kind of is what I think. I don't know. Trapjaw, a very cool one. I love how they can move things around. I love this little effect piece for the end on him. I think that'll be a sleeper one, maybe the best one of the set. We'll see what happens. Of course, Krang, assuming Krang will be a deluxe figure, has to be a deluxe figure. He's going to be a little bit bigger. He's got that midsection piece that looks to be removable. That'll add him a little extra height, and you can stick, of course, Krang in there. But I like that idea, really good. Now, one that's interesting is this kind of mutated He-Man figure. The original production shots we saw of that one, he kind of had a translucent plastic through him. It looks like they got rid of the translucent plastic and went to a purple plastic. Maybe there's a possible variant, or they moved it to this plastic. Not sure. We'll have to see how that ends up netting out there, but I like the looks of that. We got the Shredder, of course, a new one we just kind of saw here. Shredder looking good. Of course, you have to have him in this line. We did see Ram Man, which is very interesting, a very interesting Ram Man, one of my all-time favorite Masters of the Universe characters, but we do get Ram Man coming to the line. This man here, very interesting, using some of that Stranger Things crossover parts, it looks like, but once again, translucent plastic. Hopefully it sticks with that one, but I like the looks of that. Beastman, a little bit of a head scratcher for me on this one. He's kind of got the Samurai Leonardo type gear on him. I just don't think of Beastman with a Samurai crossover. I think of him as more of like a Beast, obviously, like a Bebop Rocksteady kind of crossover, maybe. I don't know. But I did find those to be very interesting. I thought they were a really good look. I'm very interested for this line. I'm not super like this is the greatest thing ever, but I'm intrigued. That's what I'm going to say. And more to come on those. I think they're supposed to come like May of 2024, which probably means March of 2024. We'll have to see what happens. But an interesting line, there is no doubt about it there. And that is the toy news of the week. Man, I'm almost without a voice. I've done a lot of talking this week. I had to give a 2-hour presentation for work. I was traveling to Chicago, all over the place. So, man, my voice has had it. It's going to be a long weekend of filming videos. Hopefully my voice can power through, but it will. It always does. It never lets me down. So there you go. Album of the week, though. That's where we're going to close it here. Album of the week this week, not for everybody. That's for sure. This is an album that not everybody's going to like, and hide the kids if you want to, but it is from our old friend, Wheeler Walker Jr. It is the album Ram. I finally got around to listening to this album this week. It came out, I think it was the end of September. It's been on my long game list of albums to get to. I've enjoyed Wheeler Walker Jr. stuff from the first album he had. Of course, kind of like Steel Panther, but country, but more vulgar maybe. That's what I would say with him. But man, I'm all in on it. There's some absolute bangers on there. One of those songs I wanted to leave at the end of my presentation. I was going to say, okay, here's my 2-hour presentation. I want to leave you guys with this. And I was going to play it. If you guys know the album, you probably know the song I'm talking about. Who knows? But a very interesting album. Once again, hide the kids, hide the wife maybe, but it's not for everybody. But if you like your comedy, if you like your outlaw country, this is an album for you. Definitely check out old Wheeler Walker Jr. The album is Ram, and we're not talking Paul McCartney Ram. That's a good album too, though. Check that one out. But we're talking Wheeler Walker's version of Ram. So check that out. That is the album of the week. So there it is, the toy news of the week. What are your guys' thoughts? Anything interest you? Anything you're here for? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to both YouTube channels. Check out the Patreon for early access to all the videos here on the channel and your best way to support the channel at the end of the day. Don't forget social media, Threads and Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, SirPaul64 on the X. So, for the toy news of the week, you know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.